But I love what you're talking about, because before you really have to invest a ton of money, you can try it out here. And then when you do have it, you can still have Amazon fulfillment that helps keep your costs down. I guess we're live. All right. Hey, everybody, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing Etsy. All right. How many people are using Etsy? Well, we're going to be talking about how to use Etsy to ensure 90% chance of success on Amazon. So why should sellers go and take a look at Etsy? What kind of sellers should be using Etsy? And the mistakes our guest has made using Etsy. So welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. I was just telling our guests today that it's perfect timing, because Kelsey and I are trying to get a couple of stores open for ourselves on Etsy. So I can't wait to talk to her about it. But today we're going to be discussing using Etsy to ensure 90% chance of success on Amazon. Our guest is the founder of Millennials in Motion. She started a mass store on Etsy and scaled it to $10,000 a month in revenue in 3 months, which is rare on Etsy. And she founded a loophole around Amazon's no face mask policy and started selling on Amazon and grew the business to over 80% of her overall revenue in 21 and 22. I can't wait to get starting to talk to her. I met her in Paris and we had a great chat. I'm sure we're going to talk about that. And our guest today, first-time guest, Shan Shan. But before we do this, we are going to go to a sponsor. Is that right, Kels? I want to thank Jeff Schick Legal for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. You've probably heard on the podcast about Amazon suspensions. They're very real. It can happen at any time. And when it does happen, how do you get out of it? How does the little guy like you and me get out of these suspensions without paying an arm and a leg in legal fees? This is where Jeff Schick Legal is here to help. For a very low monthly retainer, for only $89, get access to Amazon attorney Jeff Schick. That's right. You can sit back, relax, enjoy that cup of coffee while listening to the Lunch with Norm podcast, knowing that you have an advocate and a partner in your business success. But wait, just mention Lunch with Norm and receive 50% off the first 2 months. Get the protection you need and visit jeffschick.com today. That's JEFFSCHICK.com. Now let's get back to the show. All right, Shan Shan. How are you? I am so sorry for the very long introduction today, but I just wanted to talk about those events and what's been happening, but it's all about you.
Cool. Good to see you again, Norm.
Yep. So we met in a mastermind in Paris, outside of Paris, in a 9th century castle. I thought that was so cool. And then we got to know each other in a taxi cab going to Paris or going from Paris to the castle.
Yes. Norm and I, we were in the city of Paris when a gang of people decided, hey, let's go back to the castle. So we managed to squeeze 5 people in this tiny taxi that drove for 1 hour, but it felt like 17 hours.
I was in the front seat, so I was okay.
Oh, yeah, you were you were chilling, but I was like, oh my God, I have like 2 inches.
Oh, that was hilarious. But you know what? That's why I say about events. Christine knows about this. She's been to the Mexico trip with us, and you get to know people, you break bread with people, and the networks start to form. And I'm happy to have Shan Shan as part of my network. And when you were talking about it, when you reached out to me and we started talking about this is a really cool subject. So Etsy is a play that not a lot of Amazon people think about. They don't even know that they can build their Amazon sales through it. So I can't wait to talk about it. and you've broke through. So I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey with Etsy?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm like everybody else. I watch these, lives and YouTubes and podcasts, and I thought, man, I really want to do passive income. Because one thing I realized about real life is that, let's say you work at a company. I used to work at a consulting firm, and you can work really, really hard, and then one day you get promoted to VP. But then once you get promoted to VP, guess what? You have to work even harder. So you're getting promoted to work harder, right? And I didn't like that idea. I would rather work really hard now to work less hard in the future. So I thought passive income was the way. And I knew from these YouTube videos that e-commerce was the quickest path to that, but I didn't know what to sell until the pandemic hit. And all of my friends needed face masks, but they couldn't get like cool looking face masks. And so I thought, hey, you know what? I guess my first product is going to be face masks. And I started a face mask store. But at the time, Amazon didn't want to profit from the pandemic. So they banned you, like they banned every listing that was a face mask listing. And a lot of marketplaces did that except for Etsy. So out of sheer necessity, I had to go on Etsy to launch, which actually accidentally taught me all these skills that made my Amazon game way better.
So how does that even tie into Amazon? Is it learning the skills of selling online um, through Etsy, and then you just applied it over to Amazon?
So there's two principles that are very true. There's the Pareto, which is 20% of products will get 80% of your sales. And that applies for both marketplaces. And I consult with clients a lot, and almost all my clients the same thing. And the second one is the the customers from Etsy behave in almost the exact same way as the customers on Amazon. It's a random sample on Etsy and it's a random sample on Amazon, and they behave the same. So what I did was I used Etsy, and at the time I had very low capital, low investment, low risk kind of lifestyle. Um, I wanted to only invest tiny tiny amount, but I needed to find that top 20%. So I used Etsy to find the top 20%. And then when I found it, then I only launched those top 20% on Amazon. And it was a 90% success because the customers that liked those products on Etsy also liked it on Amazon. And it would climb up the ranking really quickly compared to the 80% that would.
So the products that you were promoting on Etsy, were there, was it a private label product, or was it print on demand?
Etsy used to be handmade, but now they don't care. They will literally accept anything, um, as long as it's in their categories. And if you look at Etsy, there's actually quite a large number of categories: home goods, clothing, accessories, food, supplements, gadgets, arts, crafts. There's almost, a big chunk of what maybe a first time seller would sell and may already be on Etsy as a category.
I like what you're talking about, using Etsy as a proving ground, where the Pareto principle again. Why spend a lot of money? I just got off the phone, and I hope he's listening, but I just got off the phone with one of our clients, and he went and he got 500 products of 5 different colors, and he's going to be promoting it on Amazon. But doing what you just mentioned, it's such a unique way of doing it, because now I think if he would have put them onto Etsy, he would have been able to split test it that much easier, and then just focus in on those 2 or 3 that sell, and then put the big order in and put them onto Amazon. Because, and the reason I'm saying this is because you do have all these extra fees with Amazon that you don't have on Etsy. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's also just much faster to launch on Etsy. You don't even need a barcode. You literally just need the pictures and the description, and that is it. And then you start getting data. And if you'd like, Norm, I can even share screen and show you the data you can get.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. If you've got it available, all you need to do is just hit present and you can share a screen.
Okay, great. So let me try this.
Sure.
Share screen.
And by the way, if anybody does have questions, this is a new topic for me on the podcast. But if anybody has questions, please put it into the comment section.
Do you see my screen, Norm?
I see your screen.
Okay, great. So this is Etsy ads, which is like the baby version of Amazon. You can't do anything on Etsy ads. You can only turn it on or turn it off for product. But the data you get is so useful. So I launched a bunch of products this year,
Yep.
and I threw, no more, like check out the spend, $20 each. That's it. You only have to spend $20 each to get the data you need to find out if it's a top 20% winner. And then I look at a couple key metrics, right? You just turn it on. Etsy does all the work. And I realized that the key to being a top 20% seller for me is a click-through rate of at least 0.8. So if it's under that, like 0.7 might be okay, but like 0.5, 0.4, that's probably not going to cut it. The conversion rate is going to be about at least 2%. So if it's less than that, it's not going to cut it. The add to cart rate is going to be at least 4%. And then there's also a like rate. So Etsy's community is extremely engaged and they will like a product a lot. So if you look at your stats and you scroll down, do you see here how this product has 500 views?
Yep.
And 179 favorites. That means almost a third of people who look at that product added it as a favorite. That's a ton. But, there's these products here that, 100 views, but only 4 favorites. So that's not going to be as good.
And what was your ratio on that again for the likes or favorites?
So you want to get at least 20%.
20%. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is, at least 33, right? So at least 20%. That was my benchmark for my product category. And my product category is tights. But you may have different benchmarks for your category, and that's something you have to figure out. So when you are, say you're launching in home goods, you got to figure out what your benchmarks are, and they may be different numbers than mine. But once you know those numbers, then you've got the recipe. You can, process, repeat, and find out forevermore which ones are the top 20% winners.
And that could be size or it could be color. There's so many little things that could make up a winner. Isn't that correct?
Yes, exactly. So, on Etsy, you can, because it's so easy to launch, right? You can just launch immediately and it will be a live public within 5 minutes. So you could launch with different pictures and as the main image and see which ones get the best click-through rate. I've even launched listings where one is one color, one is a different color, where the features are different. And so it's basically like being able to A/B test with a lot less money, and you're getting paid to A/B test because once people buy the products, you get the money, right? So you're getting paid to get all the data that functions almost the exact same as they would function on Amazon.
What are the fee structures like on Etsy?
So it's about 10%-ish transaction fee. Amazon's more like 15. And then you pay for the shipping. which is it's basically the same for a small product, right? So let's say it's a small product, be about $3 or $4. Typical USPS, they don't mark it up.
Mhm.
So you pay for the shipping, but you can ship elsewhere, and then you pay a tiny 10%. That's it.
So they don't have an FBA system. You have to send it out yourself?
You technically have to send it yourself, but I use FBA because once you have a product and you post it on Amazon, right? It could be there could be no images, there could be no descriptions, it could be like a skeleton listing. It is good enough for you to send an inventory. This empty listing, you can tap on the barcode, send in the inventory to Amazon's warehouse, and then just have Amazon fulfill it. So it would be self-fulfill, manual
Okay.
orders.
All right. So just so I get this clear, because again, I'm a newbie. I've used Etsy, but I am a newbie at it. And to get this straight, I can go in, I can have a product, I can then send it. So it's very similar to what used to be the Shopify. You could send it over to Amazon, and Amazon would pick, pack, and ship it out. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it won't be automatic. Like FBA is automatic.
Yep.
You have to manually go in and be like, add new order, and then add the address. But you won't have to physically hold the product.
Okay.
So some other person in their warehouse will ship it for you, which
Yep.
is great. So you never have to touch the product. You can send it from wherever you're getting it overseas straight to Amazon's warehouse. Then when your Etsy sales start coming in, just create an order on Amazon. They'll fulfill it for you, and yeah, and then you were able to do the test and everything, and you didn't have it wasn't your Amazon product wasn't launched, right? So there's no honeymoon period problems. It's a suppressed listing. You're just using the fulfillment in that stage.
Very good. I know, and this is just another example of success, but I know another lady who she just did print on demand, and it was just coffee mugs. And she went and she was able to get all these mugs, and she, especially around the holiday season, but I think October, November, her average coffee mug shipment or monthly revenue was $66,000 on October and November this year on coffee mugs. And the beautiful part about this is that it was all POD. So she didn't hold any inventory whatsoever. So it's just a different model. But again, it was really cool that you were able to do this with Etsy, build up your store, have something that was really cool looking. And all you paid for were the designs from a graphic artist to upload them. And then once they were done, it was integrated into a back end of a print on demand company, and they took care of everything. So have you ever experimented with that?
No, I personally have not, but I do think it's a great model. And that's amazing she was able to do that. What were some of her tips?
Uh, well, one of the main thing was that she was taking specific demographics. So pets was one, but the one that she told me about that sold probably the most had to do with women over 40 that drink wine. That was her demographic for her mugs. And she had all these sayings, and she just sold a ton of them. Now, then she got into, like this year, she's into all these t-shirts and thermoses, insulated mugs, all these things. And she's making a killing. And if she's listening, I hope you're, having still great success with it. But it's just an area. And I'll give you, this is what I'm doing with it, is I have a specific product, which is soap. Okay. So either beauty products, but this particular one is I'm manufacturing these soap bars. But that's not where my revenue is coming in. It's coming in with Etsy, with all the fun sayings that go along with this soap. So I'm not planning on making very much money on the soap. It's just because it's kind of a shocking, name. I'm expecting that we're going to take off with that. And I haven't done it yet. So Kelsey and I are still working on this store. But anyways, I just thought that that's a whole different model. But I love what you're talking about, because before you really have to invest a ton of money, you can try it out here. And then when you do have it, you can still have Amazon fulfillment that helps keep your costs down. Really great idea. All right. So I'm sure that's going to stimulate a few questions. I think there's a few coming in anyways. Are there any other ways that Amazon sellers, which most of our audience is made up of Amazon or Walmart sellers, any other ways that they could utilize Etsy to their advantage?
Yeah, sure. So let me share my screen again.
Sure.
Sharing screen. So do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So Etsy is an incredibly open and very, very easy to see data type of platform. So let's just go to a random store. Okay. Any store right here. And then we're going to, a quick tip. Do you see this bestseller badge right here?
Where is that?
Right
here? Yep. Got it. Yep.
Right. That's another indication that this product is a good seller. And if it's a bestseller here, it's very likely it could also be a bestseller in Amazon. So when you're at a store, you see right here, this where it says 1,475 sales.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So let's find another store. I think that one is from the UK. I'm gonna try to find one in the US. Okay, so let's try this one. Oh, another bestseller tag. So these guys are called Hello Hand Pressed.
And so if you're listening on the podcast and you don't see a video, we're in Etsy right now at another seller store called Hello Hand Pressed. Wow. What, 100,000 sales?
Yeah, this is a big one. So normally what happens, I don't know why it's not working today, but when you click on this 100,000 sales, you will see their exact history of sales, like literally every order that was made, and the flow and what types of products.
Okay, so can we stop there for a sec? You mean you see each individual order, or do you see each month?
Each individual order.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's very nice when you look at competitors, you can see which products are being sold more, which ones are frequently being sold, which ones are being ignored. It's pretty powerful data, which is really nice. And then as you're browsing along, do you see how I clicked on this product and it says in 5 carts?
Yes.
Right here, and it's red.
Yep.
So as you're browsing along, Etsy will tell you how many carts this product is in. If the product says it's in 20 carts, that means it's probably a top 20% seller. Because most products aren't in anybody's carts, right? Five carts, not so bad. So again, all this data is free and available for you to see. So by browsing along, you can see which products are a top 20% seller with the bestseller tag. If it's in like 20 people's carts, that's a very good sign as well. When they bring back the feature where you can click on the sales history, that would be great to see that as well. And get all that data from competitors before you launch a product.
So, Shan Shan, when you're looking for competitors, so I do a lot of competitive analysis whenever I'm entering a market. Over here, can you give us a few tips? Now, I know you showed us what to do, but are there any ways to really skim through the competitors and find out a good niche rather than going sort of one by one? There's no tools like a Helium 10 or anything like that, is there?
What's an example of what you're talking about?
Okay, let's say I want to get into the soap market and I can go into Helium 10. And well, first of all, I can use X-ray. So it'll show, I could put the criteria in there exactly like you just said. So if I wanted specific KPIs, I can put that in there and it would come down with a list of products, a cross section of products that fit this profile. And then I could take them and I could put them into Helium 10 and I could do a reverse ASIN. So this is called Cbro, and I could take similar products, click on each one of the competitors, and then it would give me a report and basically a keyword research report that I could start to see if I want to get into that market.
Yeah, so you can do similar things, but not with.
Oh, your mic is gone.
Oh, how about now?
Yeah, it's back.
Okay, all good?
Yep, all good.
So on Etsy, you can also get data, but not the exact same kind of data. So let's say you want to sell soap, which is a product that you can sell on Etsy. You go on Etsy and you search the term soap that you want to search. Then you look at the results that come out, and it's going to tell you a lot of data, right? There's probably a store that only sells soap. So then you can go to that store, look at their sales history, and literally see which soaps are the best seller, which ones have the most in the cart, right? If you see 100 soaps and these 10 soaps have 20 in the cart, you know those 10 types of soaps, the lavender soap and whatever type, are going to be the best sellers. So it's really just seeing existing customer browsing and purchasing behavior. And you can't do that on Amazon because Amazon doesn't show you how many people have this product in the cart. You can kind of guess it because if it's on the first page, it's probably selling well. And you can use Helium 10 to look at that data. But Etsy provides complementary data.
Okay. All right. So we're at the bottom of the hour. If you're listening for the first time, we always have a giveaway at the end of every podcast. And today we have a great giveaway. If you've been listening to Shan Shan about Etsy, well, we've got a great giveaway. But first, you have to put in hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people, you get a second entry. As you can see, people have already started to do that. Shan Shan, why don't you tell us about your giveaway today?
Yes. So in addition to having my own brand, I also work with a team called the Trivium Group. They manage my brand on Amazon, and they manage the Amazon advertising for me. And they've done such a good job. I was featured on Business Insider about all the work that they've done.
Is that Mina, by the way?
That's Mina Elias's group. Yeah.
Very good. Minas has been on here a couple times.
Yeah. He's great. Really smart guy. And the giveaway is we're going to have our Trivium engineers, the same engineers that work on my account and work on Mina's brand as well, give a 30-minute video where they will go through your Amazon dashboard and your PPC campaigns and tell you exactly how to improve, what opportunities there are. They literally point and tell you what to do. So that's a free consulting video that if you sign up on this link, we'll get it for you. We'll do as many as possible, so everybody sign up. The first person will definitely get it, and you also get a free consultation with me where I will help you figure out any issues you have with your products, how you can use Etsy to validate, how to manage your PPC, and anything else that you would like help with.
Well, that's fantastic. So it's a double whammy. everybody, as long as they can handle it, will get the 30-minute video through the link that we're going to be posting. And the winner not only gets that, but gets the 30-minute consult with Shan Shan. So it's awesome. All right. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people. You'll grab a second entry. Kelsey, can we have another word from our sponsor, please? Are you struggling to keep up with your Amazon business? Do you need help from a skilled, reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than the Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. Founded by successful Amazon sellers who know the challenges of hiring quality VAs, VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high quality VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Amazon training and ongoing professional development and are committed to a long term working relationship with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Amazon trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Amazon marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today. Okay, and just a reminder, if you like what you're hearing today, don't forget to give us a like or follow or whatever you do. Kelsey can fill you in on all that stuff. But anyways, it would be awesome. And also, if you haven't done it already, if you like what you're hearing, or we always love a review. There we go. It's a shameless on my knees going, hey, give us a review, but I'm not allowed to say that. So, but please give us a review. Anyway, let's get back to Shan Shan. And we got a bunch of people. Shan Shan, you got everybody's attention. We got a bunch of people wanting this prize of yours. So that's great. It's a 2-in-1, which is fantastic. Everybody wins, and you get the extra 30-minute consult, which is awesome. Okay, who should be on Etsy?
Anybody, literally anybody that can fit into one of their categories. So if you go on Etsy and just browse at the top the categories that they sell in, if your product is in that category, I would highly recommend that you launch on Etsy first. Because you don't want to happen is you launch on Amazon, find out you have this amazing top 20% seller, run out of inventory like everyone does because you under purchase and you didn't realize you sell that much. Then your inventory goes to zero, you lose all your ranking, you're frantically trying to purchase more inventory, but you've already lost your ranking and you start from scratch. I see that happen a lot when I talk to Amazon sellers all day. And if you knew which ones were the top 20% sellers on Etsy, then you could have did better inventory management and purchased more of the winners and less of the losers.
Okay. What about you must have experienced? I always say if you're new to Amazon and you're launching, you always pay your Amazon tax. You're going to make mistakes. What kind of mistakes are you seeing people on Etsy make?
I think Etsy doesn't have as clear of an algorithm as Amazon. Amazon has a very consistent algorithm, right? If you go on Amazon and you check on Helium 10 about how much your competitors are selling on the first page, you have the same volume as them, then you're gonna get to the first page as well. And then you just maintain the sales and you maintain the first page ranking. So it's very, very simple. Whereas on Etsy, it's not that simple. It doesn't seem clear that you can maintain your first page ranking. It's like one day you're in the first page, one day you're not, And same with Etsy ads, there's just it's not clear. You could turn on the ad for a product or you could turn it off. You cannot in any way sway the keywords they use. They claim that you can sway it by turning a keyword off, but I've tried that so many times, I feel like it's done nothing. So it seems like there's just less control, but the data they give you is very helpful. As long as it's a category that they sell in, I see one of our viewers, Brad Iyer, says, can we sell it on Etsy if it's not handmade or designed by the seller? Absolutely. Etsy does not care anymore. So all you have to do is report it. Just be like, this is not handmade, and that's it. And you'll get the same treatment as everybody else will get on Etsy.
Yeah, because that's what everybody thinks, that Etsy's just for handmade products. And like you said, that lifted what about a year ago, year and a half ago.
Pretty much during the pandemic, because during the pandemic,
Hmm.
do you remember all the stocks were really high, and Etsy was like soaring because people were, desperate for face masks. They must have like exploded their user count. And I think that's when they realized, you know what, we have so many new users that are coming in that let's just forget about that.
I'm glad they did that. And one of the things I do when I'm doing competitive research, by the way, if I'm looking for a niche, is I'll go to Pinterest and I'll go to Etsy because of the quality of the products, the quality of the packaging that I find on Etsy. Excuse me. So it is one of the tools I still use to go and find it's one of the tools that I use in my arsenal to do my competitive analysis, which is kind of cool. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, just a thought. Are you also on Walmart?
Yes.
You are.
Yes.
How are you finding that?
Walmart, every seller I speak to, Walmart's like 1/10 or maybe 1/20th of the sales of Amazon.
Yeah.
But the behavior of Walmart customer is also just like Amazon and Etsy. So the top 20% sellers that work on Etsy also works on Amazon, also works on Walmart. I also use their Walmart fulfillment.
Yeah.
And it's basically like, Amazon, but just the interface is just much worse. So everything seems a little bit more like in progress. But it works basically the same, pretty efficient, and just way less sales. But if you want to get an extra 10% of sales, it doesn't hurt. Now that you know which are 20% winners, it doesn't hurt to put those 20% winners also on Walmart.
Right. All that adds up.
Yeah.
And if it's not a hassle. So there are platforms out there that are hassles. But and Walmart, by the way, what we've seen is doing a great job trying to do even a better job in some instances of what Amazon has done. And we're starting to see that now. It's kind of curious to see what's going to happen with their video and their rich media hosting. So be interesting to see what they do and how they compete with that. Okay, so I think from my end, that's it. Oh, no, I do have one other thing. How easy is it to set up an Etsy account?
Incredibly easy. You could
Except if you're Canadian.
Yeah, except if you're Canadian. Super easy. Yeah, just go on Etsy. Everything in Etsy is 10 minutes. Between Walmart, Amazon, Etsy by far has the best user interface. So if you log on to Amazon, you're super overwhelmed by the dashboard, so many buttons everywhere, then start with Etsy because it's just clean, super, big buttons that are easy to understand. Like I said, literally, 30 seconds, you can have a listing launch with just the pictures and images. Don't need a barcode. You don't even need a white background on your images. And yeah, very, very easy.
Okay, now we can go to the questions, Kels, and comments. You're acting as a professional again.
All right, so I think most of these questions have been answered. One from Rad on Etsy: are we allowed to contact customers?
100%. And not only that, I think you should just, really abuse it, like make the most of it. I go on Etsy and I chat with people. And the nice thing about Etsy is that the community is very like friendly. It's not like Amazon where they're like, don't message your customers. Etsy customers want you to message them. So I'd be
So
like,
what do you mean message? Is it by email or is there a chat or?
there's a chat.
Huh.
So that's where you can do even more testing. So I go on and I'm like, hey, I noticed you bought my tights. Why did you buy it? What did you like about it? I just copy and paste that to like 20 people, get the responses. Most reply because, like I said, Etsy is just so friendly. I even asked them, I'm like, hey, and this is a little taboo. I'm like, hey, could you buy this on Amazon? And again, little taboo. I mean, probably definitely taboo, but
Probably definitely.
definitely a taboo. But because Etsy's so new, they're not really policing it. You could just get away with saying anything to the customers, and the customers are so nice. Like, if the average Amazon customer is an angry customer, the average Etsy customer is a happy one.
Wow.
Even when you mess up, when like the shipping goes bad or whatever, they're like, oh, it's okay. No problem.
Do you see with Amazon, there's been plenty of times, this happened today, where things happen where your listings get taken over, you get fake reviews, do you see that on Etsy where you get a lot of black hat techniques to try to gain positioning?
No, you do not. And that might be because Etsy's so new. I mean, it's been around forever, but
Yeah.
it's just not big enough for the black hatters to go in. All the reviews are real. And they tend to be pretty, like, I feel like Amazon reviews tend to be more negative, whereas Etsy reviews, people are happy to leave you a 5-star review. So I get way more 5 stars on Etsy. They're just not as negative of a crowd. And there's no possibility for anyone to take over. If there's a listing, it's yours. So there's no buy box.
Okay.
You own that listing.
Very good. Okay, Kels, next question.
All right. The next question is from Amazon Elite. I joined after 10 minutes from the start here, but is there any app or solution to automatically fulfill Etsy orders using FBA stock?
There are apps that plug in to Etsy, yes. So Etsy does have an API, and there's a bunch of them that can sync with Etsy. I don't know if it connects with FBA stock, but I definitely know that there is third-party apps you can install and plug into Etsy, so it'll fulfill for you automatically.
So like a deliverer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and this last question, I'm not sure if it's an inside joke. It's from Brian. He said, I just want to know if the pickleball game with Brandon Young happened and who won.
Yes. So I was at Camp Ecom with Brandon Young, Seller Systems. And pickleball is such a big deal right now. And I'm also not athletic, but pickleball is so easy that anybody can play. So I'm like, oh, Brandon, I challenge you and Jennifer, his wife, to a pickleball game because we all live in Miami. It hasn't happened yet. I actually just tried last week. I think I messaged him. I was like, hey, do you want to meet up? And he's in like China. So it has not happened. But thank you for remembering, Brian. I must have ran around Camp Ecom telling everybody.
That's hilarious. Well, look, I don't play pickleball and I'm not athletic anymore. I'll ref.
Do you want to come down to Miami?
I'll come down to Miami just to ref.
Okay. Let's do it.
There we go. Brandon, if you're listening, you've just been challenged again. All right. And not by me, by Shan Shan. Okay. So I think that's it. No more questions, comments, Kels?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so last chance to get your entry into the Wheel of Kelsey today. So if you like the giveaway, which is a 30-minute consult with Shan Shan, but even further, 30-minute, I guess it's an audit on your listing for everybody. Okay, so anybody who enters, plus you get that 30-minute for one lucky winner. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people. You get the second entry. We're going to go to a sponsor. We'll come right back with the wheel. I want to give a quick shout out to an incredible group of sponsors who help keep our podcast running. The Lunch with Norm podcast wouldn't be possible without the support of the following sponsors. Wally Smarter, Post Purchase Pro, VAA Philippines, Jeff Schick Law, Rebate, Honu Worldwide, Extreme Power, Dragonfish Brand Management, and Startup Club. Thank you. And now back to our show. All right, now we can go to the wheel, and Kyle just snuck in a hashtag Wheel of Kelsey.
Alrighty, let's head over to the Wheel of Kelsey.
Shan Shan.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, before we press it, AMZ Elite says, don't forget my entry.
Yes, I think he is in there. Yep.
Okay, yep, I see him.
So we're all good to go. Thank you everyone who entered. I'm going to shuffle these names up and give this a spin. So we do this every single episode. Make sure you email me k@lunchwithnorm.com.
Oh, look at this.
And
yep, you're definitely entered.
All right, Tom, you are the winner. You can please email me k@lunchwithnorm.com. And for everyone who didn't win, you still can sign up for that 30-minute video audit. I put the link in again, and I'll put it up on the screen as well so everyone can see. But
all right, congratulations, Tom. All right, you're off the hook. That's it. Easy.
Thanks so much, Nora. It was so fun chatting with you.
Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcast, click over here.
Lunch with